2025 is already off to an absolute flyer, as on the 1st of January, Club Shay Shay dropped an absolute banger of a podcast with Cenat that has already surpassed well over 1 million views, right, over on Club Shay Shay. And it's just, there are so many good talking points in this, and it really humanizes the streamer that is Cenat. Obviously, when we see Cenat, he's enormous. He's one of the biggest streamers on the planet, if not the biggest streamer on the planet, right? But we obviously all just see the content creator. But in this podcast, it was really an opportunity to see the guy behind the camera, to see who Cenat truly is. And we're going to take a look at some of the highlights, because there were some really interesting talking points. If you want to check out the full podcast, I highly recommend you go over to Club Shay Shay, check out the full thing for yourself. But the first thing we're going to take a look at, obviously, only a few weeks ago, there were rumours that Kick were trying to poach Cenat for a $60 million deal, right? They were going to offer $60 million straight off the bat to Cenat to take his subathons and mafiathons, move them from Twitch over to Kick. And, you know, Cenat didn't end up doing it, but there was like a load of back and forth between them about the whole situation. But Kai actually kind of talks about that and why he turned down this very lucrative offer of $60 million. I mean, you've got to be in one hell of a position to turn down 60 mil. I know I wouldn't be able to, but this is why Kai did it.
Read that you turned down 60 million to join Kick. Why did you do that?
It wasn't right. Man, I couldn't join Kick at the time because it was like, I got to realize, like, not all money is good money. Some money, I think some money you could take and some deals that you could sign that would like literally jeopardize and slow down everything that you built up for. Sometimes you gotta just say no. Like,
right.
This is not this. It's cool. Like, it's generational, but I'm more like, what am I stamping on the world? Like, what am I gonna be known for? So like, I don't even, if it don't make sense, I'm not doing it. They, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have such a great community where I'm at right now. Why would I leave it?
Who did you rely on to help make that decision, or was that a sole decision that you made?
Nah, it was me and God. I can tell you exactly what happened. 2023, right before my subathon, I got a call from Kick. They say, hey, we got these millions for you to do 15 days on Twitch, then come to Kick for 15 days, and then reveal that you're on Kick. And I said, I told my team, I said, I can't do it. I didn't want to do it. They hung up. As soon as I hung up, I got down on my knees and I put my hands together and I prayed and I said, God, I just turned down a crazy amount of money that can help me for a lifetime, but I just hope you keep me on the road of staying focused and being able to achieve my dreams at a natural pace, at my own pace.
I mean, that is incredibly humble, right? Like, imagine getting a phone call from Kick. Like, Kick is like one of those streaming platforms where they'll just throw insane amounts of money at you and you just don't turn it down, right? And you just, like, you go, listen, $60 million is on offer for you to do 15 days on Twitch, 15 days on Kick, and then stay exclusively to Kick. And he's like, no. Bro turned down $60 million. That is insane. That's generational wealth. That's not just wealth. That's a friggin' crazy sum of money. And he was just like, no, don't want to do it. Obviously, you know, he must trust what he's doing now. I mean, he's got, what is it, over 500,000 subs now over on Twitch. And if you don't know what subs are, they're not like YouTube subs where you're free to subscribe to a channel. Over on Twitch, a subscription is like a membership. It's like a monthly rolling fee, right? Where you basically pay, you invest within the creator. So he's probably making a very hefty amount of money over on Twitch. But, I mean, still, to turn down 60 mil because of his community, not many creators would do that. Not many at all. But you've got to respect the guy for doing it, because hats off to the man. Anyway, there was also the age-old question asked to Cenat, which was, you know, he's being a streamer. The 9 to 5 versus streaming, what is more difficult? Many people who are streamers will say, you know, streaming's so hard and it's much harder than a 9 to 5. Listen, I've not done streaming full-time. I've done content creation full-time, and it can be tough at times. But compared to a 9 to 5, which I have done, no. Like, 9 to 5's the graft and the grind is so much more extensive with a 9 to 5, right? Yeah, you can walk away, clock out your shift and not think about it, whereas with content creation, you're constantly on the ball, you're constantly looking at things. But that's nothing compared to a 9 to 5. And also a 9 to 5, you don't get paid as much as you do for streaming in most cases, right? So, you know, like, that's my 50 pence worth, but this is what Kai had to say about it.
I asked Speed this, and I remember one time he's like, streaming, is it harder than a 9 to 5?
Is streaming harder than a 9 to 5?
Yes.
No. Hell no. Streaming harder than a 9 to 5? Okay, let me give you my results on it, right? So like,
Cause have you ever had another job other than streaming?
No.
Okay.
Listen, let me tell you something, Shannon. Anybody who says that streaming is harder than 9 to 5 is an idiot. I work so hard on my streams.
Right.
It takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of hard planning. It takes a lot of you got to be in front of a camera for dozens of hours.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I understand that. You feel me? It's hard. You feel what I'm saying? In terms of like the skill that I at least do it on,
right,
and some people do it on, it's hard.
Right.
But harder than a 9 to 5, you're talking about somebody that may not even want to even be there.
Right.
I
doing something you love.
I love streaming.
Yeah.
It's like I think about it all the time. I treat it as if it's like a goddamn.
It's a job, but you love it.
Yeah, but I love it. The average 9 to 5 worker don't want to be there.
Yeah, they ain't
Don't
loving
want
it.
to be there.
Yeah.
I remember I had to do something in the grocery store. I had to pack things that I was like, damn, I don't want to be here. And like, man, and they had to find ways, and they're not even really getting paid. You get paid, and you gotta that shit's going straight to bills and
Right.
taking care of the kids.
Right.
Bro, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
And this is true. You know, the 9 to 5 life is just like what streamers don't realize is it goes beyond just the 9 to 5. They look at it as the job versus the job. But you got to look at the whole picture, right? The 9 to 5 wage is mostly minimum wage, all right? And trying to survive on minimum wage in this climate with like the cost of living going up is nigh on impossible. It's really, really hard. You don't have, you know, extra money to go and buy yourself these nice things that these streamers have. You don't get paid to go and have wonderful experiences, right? Like some streamers get paid to go on holidays, to promote the holiday, right? People have to pay for this stuff. Some streamers are very out of touch though. Like let's not get it twisted. But another thing that Kai Cenat like kind of breaks down is his relationship with his father, right? Now I don't know much about like Kai Cenat and his dad or like the relationship that they have. This is kind of the first time that I've ever really heard that they've had like there's been some things go on. But the way that Kai handles it is, you know, it's very commendable. And I think a lot of people can learn a hell of a lot from the way that Kai handles this situation.
Do you have a relationship with your father?
I do. I was just with him. I was just with him yesterday. The first Christmas I ever had with my pops.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what was that like?
It was fine. It was good because like I had my whole family there, and like I understand. When I was younger, I used to be so hard on my pops. I didn't like want to like talk to him or nothing like that. My sister was very close with him, but as I got older, it's like I mature and I realized like, damn, like even though there's like no excuse for a
Him
man
not to be there.
Yeah, for a man not to be there. It's just more of a like I've grown older to accept the fact and forgive. Like I don't know what was going on in the time of his life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what was going on. I don't know how stressed he was. I don't know how anything was. So when I did spend the Christmas with him, he was very happy. And like now I'm able to provide for my family. You feel me? And he has kids. He has kids with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And his little kids remind me of like me and my brothers when we was growing up. So I just want to be able to help my pops out so that he can give his
those kids what he could give you.
Yeah, what I wanted. You feel me? So
Yeah.
It's just an amazing feeling. I was just with one of his son yesterday, and I met him for the first time, and he loves all my stuff. So it's like I got to see him, and I just want the best for my pops right now, so that he can give them the life, you know, that I always wanted.
Did your stepbrothers know that your dad, that their father and was your dad also? Did they know that before?
Yeah, so they knew. They at first like he called me, And then after it was one day I met them on FaceTime.
Okay.
But he's always bragging to his friends, Kai's my stepbrother, Kai's my stepbrother, like Kai's my brother, Kai's my brother. And nobody believed him. And then like what he always calls me, and like his name is Benedict. He reminds me of like me when I was younger, like for real. So like it's just so fire. Like he's a big supporter of mine, and when he found that out, he was going crazy.
Absolute respect. I mean, you gotta love it. I mean, considering like I know there's a lot of families like this where parents aren't always in the fold, but the way that Kai handles it is so mature, and I think a lot of people can learn a lot from it, especially with Kai's younger audience, right? And that's what I think is so touching about this is Kai's got a very presumably he's got a younger audience, right, with what the things that he does on stream. And they might be going through something similar that Kai had, where fathers or mothers or parents or whatever might not necessarily be in the fold. But he can be like, look, they might not be there now, but that might not always be the case. Look at me, for example. I love it. I think it's so he's using his platform and his opportunity and his voice for good here in this instance, and I love that. But kind of going a full 180 from a very wholesome, humble moment. He also went on to talk about, Kai Cenat did, that when he moved into a white neighborhood in Atlanta, their neighbors reported them to the cops for apparently smuggling drugs because they had flashy cars. So the neighbors saw the flashy cars and instantly thought, they're drug dealers, they're drug smugglers. So they phoned the police on them. Listen to this.
And it's just rolling in. First of all, we're in a white neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's just like 6 black kids in this big ass house. Cars coming in, they loud as shit. Speaking in the backyard, loud as shit. We filming these videos, it's just so loud. We actually had a note one time, I will never forget it. This note came on our door, and it said, I forgot what it said, but it was along the lines of like, they said that we know there's drugs and like cocaine coming inside of here, and like they know that like we got to be selling drugs or something.
Right.
So they had called the cops, they wrote a note to the cops. And the note brought it to us. And the cops brought it to us. And they read it. It was online. It was, oh yeah, they got drugs, fancy cars. There's got to be something skeptical going on there. And I'm like, oh my God. There was one time I was getting so angry. Gave them a gift basket, and they were upset about it. It's like, I was all recorded, and they were upset about it. And they said, I was like, I'll be broke in 5 years and stuff like that.
Right.
And it was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what about your
neighbors hated us.
What about now?
I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? Imagine moving in and they instantly like, oh yeah, you must be a drug dealer. You must be. Another funny moment though is when Kai Cenat met Nicki Minaj for the first time, and they spoke about it, right? Obviously, Nicki Minaj, very big personality. No one really knows Nicki Minaj kind of behind the scenes, like for who she truly is. But Kai Cenat kind of breaks that down a little bit and explains who she really is.
First I was scared of was Nicki. I didn't know how Nicki was gonna be.
Okay.
But Nicki was amazing. When she pulled up, you know what's crazy about Nicki? Nicki is so real. She put up was an amazing person the whole night. She came late, but she was made it worth it.
Yeah.
And to this day, without me even being in contact with her, she knows my sister and my mom are big supporters. She checks up on them to this day. Wow. Whatever, send them free stuff, whatever. And my sister's her biggest supporter.
Right. What's your craziest guest?
I mean, you gotta love that, right? You gotta love it. Imagine just Kai Cenat, your sister and your mum looked after by Nicki Minaj, none other than Nicki Minaj. Anyway, there you go. Those are some of the highlights. There was a lot more that was covered within this entire 2-hour podcast. So if you want to check out the full thing, like I say, go over to Club Shay Shay, where you can watch the full thing for yourself. What do you guys think though? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. I thought this was just a really wholesome moment and something that should really kind of be acknowledged because, Kai Cenat is seen as this bigger than life personality, but really, bit of a sweetheart. Let me know what you guys think though down in the comments below. While you're down there, jump to the hell out of that like button, subscribe if you're new. Until next time, I'll speak to you later. Peace.